So the Dubai Sevens quarterfinals are already here, and in this game, it is a massive one. South Africa versus New Zealand. So many times we have seen these sides go head to head, and it's a great way to start off the World Sevens circuit. But jumping straight into the preview, we'll be looking through at the previous results for these two sides, also some of the key players for these teams, and then a prediction at the end who we think will win this game. But first off, it is going to be played at 8:10 p.m. New Zealand time. That is a 9:10 a.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa, and it is quite a strenuous day for these teams. They will be in action here. Then a couple hours later, you're jumping straight in to the semi-final, and then the last game, the final. If either of these two sides make it, taking place about 6 hours after that semi. But in terms of these fixtures that we've seen so far, both of these sides have been upset by certain underdogs. The first game for South Africa started off extremely well. 17-0 up against the Australians. No real troubles up against the Aussies there. And it's exactly how South Africa wanted to start off their Dubai Sevens. At the end of the day, they have a very impressive record in Dubai. So the last thing that they wanted was a loss under the belt. And in that game, they were extremely far from having that happen. Whereas in their next game, up against Kenya, the tide's changed. 22 points to 17. The win for Kenya, something that not many people predicted, but at the same time, the Kenyans are a very hard side to beat. Definitely when they're showing passion, when they're throwing that ball around, they can be unstoppable. And South Africa were right in that contest up until the final moments where Kenya, 22-17, managed to hold on. And then their last game, it was up against the French. And talking about games going to the final moments, how about Golden Point up against these defending gold medalist French players? South Africa did it. Christy Robillard scoring the last-minute try to then get 2 wins out of the 3. Looking at New Zealand, they started off extremely well in their campaign, 28 points to 12 over the USA, but little did they know that would be their only win coming from Pool C. Their next game up against the Spanish, not just beaten, but beaten comfortably by the Spanish outfit, 26 points to 14. And then up against the Fijians, it didn't get much better, 21 points to 12 in favour of the Flying Fijians. So overall, these two sides, they have had at least one upset loss along their journey. South Africa, it was up against Kenya. For New Zealand, it was that game up against Spain, although that's becoming more and more common up against the Spanish for New Zealand. So perhaps at some stage soon, it will no longer be considered as an upset. But in either way, both of these sides have already had a loss heading into these quarterfinals. Looking at key players, I think Tristan Lades for the Blitzboks has been outstanding throughout this competition. I believe he's already registered about 4 tries to his name. And someone else who's done extremely well, Christy Robillard, not only scoring that last-minute try up against the French, also scoring the first try in that game and being extremely physical throughout the Blitzboks matches so far for the All Black Sevens. We've actually seen a lot more of those experienced guys stepping up, particularly in that first game up against the USA. It was the likes of Narohi McGarvey Black doing quite a bit out there on the field. We saw Joe Weber popping up as well. And that is something that New Zealand need to use to their advantage up against South Africa, who also have got quite a few experienced players. But I think New Zealand, something that needs to work well is that combination of the old and the young. In the later games where New Zealand lost, we actually saw a lot more tries coming from those young guys, such as someone like a Cody Vai. But it's whether or not we can see tries coming from the experience and the inexperience. They need to put it together, and that is one of the only ways I believe they can beat this South African side. But now jumping into the prediction. Now, this game is extremely tough to be able to predict because South Africa, they suffered a loss to Kenya, but other than that, they've looked very strong. France are no easy beats. South Africa, they went down to the wire with them, but they got the job done. Just like in the Union, they find a way to get the victory, whereas for New Zealand, they've lost their last 2 games. It's not very often you go into a quarterfinal with 2 losses in a row under the belt, so this could be a third if they don't get their act together. So just based off the numbers, I'm going to say South Africa to win this game, and I'm going to go 17 points to 12. I think it could be relatively close. In fact, scrap that, we'll go 19-12. I think we're going to see one more conversion from the Blitzboks in this matchup. But nonetheless, Of course, do let me know your predictions for this contest. Like I said, it is kicking off at 8:10 p.m. New Zealand time or 9:10 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. We will be doing the commentary on the channel, to be sure to check that out. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.